There's an African proverb that wisdom is like a baobab tree. No one individual can embrace it. Wisdom requires learning from multiple perspectives. Likewise, building knowledge requires multiple pathways for making meaning. The phrase, multiple ways of knowing, recognizes that there are various methods for building knowledge and understanding and making sense of the world. Here are some example ways of knowing. Clearly, this is not an exhaustive list, but as I share this list, think about which ways of knowing you tend to gravitate towards. Which methods feel more comfortable to you? Authority. Learning from an expert or reliable source. Intuition. Knowledge through instinct or gut feeling. Memorization. Committing something to memory or learning by heart. Kinesthetic. Learning through physical activity and movement. Algorithms. A process or a set of rules to be followed in making calculations. Problem solving. Exploring and finding solutions to complex problems or issues. Scientific method. Combining observation, measurement, and experimentation and the testing of hypotheses. Storytelling. Lessons through narratives that invoke insight. Out of this brief list of ways of knowing, which methods do you prefer? If you think about it long enough, you might say, it depends. Some ways of knowing are going to be better for different contexts or for how you might be feeling that particular day. Learning environments become problematically biased when we assume that some ways of knowing are better or more academic than others. In some educational settings, ways of knowing like the scientific method and algorithms are elevated as objective and less prone to error. But all ways of knowing are subject to error and subjectivity. Objectivity is an illusion. For example, algorithms are biased based on the information used to design them. Scientific experiments are biased by the questions we choose to explore and the required procedures we design in the name of maintaining fidelity. To illustrate how even the scientific method is not immune from bias, I'll use another way of knowing, storytelling. In January of 2020, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And in a bid to protect my hair against chemotherapy-induced alopecia, I purchased a scalp cooling cap to wear during treatments. This medical device was relatively new, so the nurses and I worked together to follow the directions provided. I was told that to achieve the best results, I would need to thoroughly wet my hair so that it would lie flat under the cap. As a Black woman, I knew that wetting my hair would have the opposite effect for me. My type of hair expands in response to moisture. Even after contacting the company for further guidance, we received no additional information. The medical device did not work for me, and I lost all of my hair. Later, a representative from the medical device company telephoned me. The spokesperson admitted that they did not have sufficient research to accurately recommend how Black women with my type of hair should use their product that they sold to me. After doing my own research, I learned that the scalp cooling technology was approved by the FDA, the Federal Drug Administration, in 2017, even though the test trials included no Black women. Despite the requirement to include diversity in clinical trials, even an organization as scientifically objective as the FDA failed to take Black women like me into consideration. The designers and researchers applied the scientific method, yet their procedures were harmfully biased. My personal example is one that is repeated over and over and continues to lead to poorer medical outcomes for underrepresented identities in medical research. Paying attention to how we include and respect multiple ways of knowing has huge ramifications. It's not just about designing more equitable learning experiences, but also about creating a more equitable world. So, as we cultivate multiple ways of knowing in our learning spaces, remember that one way or approach isn't the right way. Instead, it's the multiplicity of options, the multiple pathways for building knowledge that lead to the greatest opportunity for making meaning and increasing learner agency.